Oh, he's giving up seats for Ron's wife and granddaughter. There we go.
Well, Dr. Paul, good morning. Good morning. It's great to see you all here. I probably don't need this, but that's what my wife says anyway. A couple of housekeeping details. Dr. Paul's going to make a 20-minute presentation. There'll be a short Q&A, about 10 or 15 minutes. So I finished with those details. You can say that anytime. Step closer, Paul. Sorry? Closer to the mic.
Okay, closer to my thanks.
There are a few people that I'd like to thank today that made this venue possible. Brian Doherty, the nonprofit coordinator, who helped. All the town captains of Bangor and their supporters. Sam Campbell, who was very instrumental in motivating the troops. He's a pilot. Last time I talked to him, he was in Dallas, Texas. A big supporter of the Ron Paul revolution. Pastor Lee Whitting, a supporter and admirer of Congressman Ron Paul, who pastors this church.
Woo! Woo! Yeah, Lee!
Lee, raise your hand.
Hey!
After several months of hard work and careful planning by the Ron Paul team and its many supporters, we gathered here today, this morning in Bangor, Maine, to begin the first of 6 historical campaign stops that will take us all the way to southern Maine and ending at the Alfred Town Hall in Alfred, Maine. This historical site, known to Bangor residents as the Brick Church, was founded in 1820 and was once the home of such prominent ministers as Ralph Waldo Emerson and attended by historical figures such as Henry David Thoreau, 2-term Maine Governor Edward Kent, Vice President Hannibal Hamlin, who served under the President Abraham Lincoln, and Civil War hero Maine Governor Joshua Chamberlain. Today, however, we have the great honor and to support an equally very brave and courageous man who for years as a congressman from Texas has been telling the American people and their elected representatives in Washington that America is headed on a collision course and that it must change its ways. Repeatedly, this congressional statesman and presidential candidate has courageously warned America that it must clean its house and return to its constitutional form of government. A government that is deeply rooted in the firm conviction that America is based on a strong belief in individual liberty. In his own words, we have not come here today to win an election. We have come here today to change the course of history.
introduction, and thank you all for coming and having such a nice reception. I do want to introduce my wife and granddaughter sitting here, my wife Carol. Right before I came in, there were a few people from the press, and they asked me, "We know you didn't come here for the weather." And I'm not so sure. My wife and I were raised in the north. We were raised in Pennsylvania. She likes the warmer weather. I like all kinds of weather. Snow. I woke up this morning and saw that snow. That was beautiful. But we didn't come for the weather. That is true. And we didn't leave Florida for the weather. We came where the action is. Delegates, and that's the name of the game. That's how you win elections. Now, Paul mentioned that we do want to change the course of history, and that is true. And we deal in ideas, and very important ideas. But I've also discovered the best way to promote ideas is to win elections, too. So it was true in the early years when I first ran for Congress. It was strictly concerned about the future of the country, but it was in the 70s. We lost the last link of our dollar to gold, and I was absolutely convinced that it would lead to an economic disaster. If you look at any economic chart from 1970 on, 71 on, it's been very, very bad when it comes to spending and debt, size of government, inflation, unemployment problems. It just is exponentially going up, and we've gotten to this point where just printing more money and spending more money doesn't seem to be working. I don't think it's going to. That's why they're giving our ideas a lot more attention at this very moment. And I think it was Gandhi that said that first they will ignore you, and then they will laugh at you, and then they will fight you. But, you know, I'm starting to suspect, even with the last night's debate, they're starting to respect what we're talking about. You know? I watched CNN for a little bit, and they were talking about what are we going to do with this Ron Paul and his supporters? How are we going to get rid of them? But they did come to the conclusion that we are very, very significant, but they want us to go away, but they don't want to offend us. Now, how are they going to manage that? They say we'll hang around for a while longer. That's what I'm saying. Made against us who want limited government, I'm sure you have been on the receiving end of these charges, is that why do you want to be so radical? You know, what is this idea that you're extremists, radical, eccentrics, and all this? And the answer really is, how did the radicals get in charge of our government? That's the problem. Because we want changes, they want to make it sound terrible. But what's wrong with balancing the budget? Is there anything wrong with that? No. I think that sounds like a pretty good idea to me. We have to do it with our own budgets, but federal governments, I think that they can spend forever and keep doing it.